we're going to move and transition now real quick to Kash Patel. But before we do, let me remind you again, folks, we are brought to you by you. Again, I can interrupt all of these interviews like I just had with those guys. I could have interrupted that 2 or 3 times with commercials, okay? And your typical outlets would have done that. They would have, we got to go to commercial break just as soon as it's getting good. And then it breaks up your train of thought and the flow. So I hope you appreciate the fact that we don't load it up with commercials. But here's the deal. We're brought to you by you. So you need to support us, or we have to come in and replace your funding with commercials. And we have companies knocking our door down. Every week I get, almost every other day, I get emails, regularly I get emails of companies saying, we want to advertise, call us, we want to take care of your advertising. So I could just load it up with advertising or say, no, we have some sponsors that I mentioned and that I promote myself, but we really rely on our audience by using these products or giving to our foundation. We're not going to load it up with commercials for soap and cars, and vacations. We can do that. But please don't make us do that, because I think you appreciate the way the format is now. So please support us so we don't have to bring in outside advertisers and get on a hard schedule where we break and sell you a pickup truck. WorldviewFoundation.com, WorldviewFoundation.com. You'll find our mailing address here on the website as well, WorldviewFoundation.com, okay? Now, I think our normal store, WVWTVstore.com, I think that URL's gone down. We're supposed to be bringing it back up, but somehow it got taken down because we got a new store URL. The new store URL is worldviewstore.com. Worldviewstore. You can put that up there. Worldviewstore.com. Worldviewstore.com. No, you can go back to the other one. That one is down now. Don't go to that one. That one, we've got to get that one fixed. For some reason, it went down. I don't know why. That's the worldviewstore.com is the one that's working. Worldviewstore.com. So go ahead and put that lower third up, if you would. Worldviewstore.com. You had it right the first time. It's the same one? You don't have one for Worldview Store? Well, now you do. Look at that. Thank you for that one, Caleb. Worldviewstore.com. And if you go there, folks, you can find out about our big event coming up on Saturday night, February 22nd with J.J. Carroll, Colonel Rob Maness, and Todd Bensman, a live in-person event. You can be in the live studio audience in the Mid-South in a theater here right outside of Memphis, about 30 minutes from the airport, in Memphis International Airport, or drive in, $5. We're not trying to make money. We're just trying to build a database of who might want to come to these and then vet who's in the room. So we're just charging $5 to get you registered and then cover the staff I have to have putting the list together and registering everybody and getting them checked in at the door. So come join us and be a part of a live studio audience for this live event, Saturday night, February 22nd. We're calling it our State of the Union panel, okay? With Colonel Rob Maness, J.J. Carroll, and Todd Bensman. Be a part of this live studio audience. Now, if you want to be a part of it, but you don't live close enough, or you don't want to fly in, you can be a part of it, but you must be a member of the Vault. So please go to worldviewtube.com/vault, worldviewtube.com/vault. If you will go to the Vault, you can join for just a few dollars a month, $9.99 a month. You can get a 6-month membership or get a whole year for under $100. Again, whether it's our foundation or our Vault. If we had enough people giving with our foundation and our Vault, we'd be good to go, okay? So it takes a lot of money to run the network. We were at 40,000. We're over 40,000 now because of adding all the DC stuff. And we are working and going to have a brand new show now. We've replaced the financial show. We've replaced that with what's coming, which is going to be a Worldview Tube Washington report with myself and Neil McCabe. So we're well over 40 grand a month we have to bring in. And whether it's you using Bella Grace, like I do, or Gatatana, or Numi, the Swish, swishforlife.com, or the foundation, or the Vault. It takes all these ways to bring in these dollars, folks. So please consider joining the Vault and getting premium content, including all my first book that I wrote in 1990, my book in 95, my book in 2005, and on and on and on it goes. All my ebooks, audiobooks, documentaries, conference DVDs. It's 35 years I've been doing this now. And all of that content is in there. And we're adding some cool stuff, some really cool stuff coming. We've been going through our old VHS tapes, our old DAT tapes, and we're pulling some stuff. And in the next few days, we're going to have some really cool stuff for you guys. So please join the Vault, worldviewtube.com/Vault. vault. All right, joining me back is Leo Holman of leoholman.com and leoholman.substack.com. leoholman.com and leoholman.substack.com. All right, let's go to Kash Patel. He's going through a Senate hearing. Boy, did you watch any of this today? They were just beating this guy around like crazy, Leo.
Yeah, I have not seen any of the Kash Patel hearings. So
you are in for a treat. Well, here is the old pencil neck. Talk about another stupid guy, right? In my opinion, this is one of the dumbest. Adam Schiff. Here he is, Adam Schiff, Shifty Schiff, taking on Kash Patel in the Senate hearing to be FBI director. Here we go.
I want you to turn around. There are Capitol Police officers behind you. They're guarding us. Take a look at them right now. Turn around.
I'm looking at you. You're talking to me.
No, look at them. I want you to look at them if you can, if you have the courage to look them in the eye, Mr. Patel, and tell them you're proud of what you did. Tell them you're proud that you raised money off of people that assaulted their colleagues, that pepper sprayed them, that beat them with poles. Tell them you're proud of what you did, Mr. Patel. They're right there. They're guarding you today. Tell them how proud you are.
That's an abject lie, and you know it. I've never, ever accepted violence against law enforcement. I've worked with these men and women, as you know,
you
my entire
glorified
life,
it in song,
and I did not make a single dime out of it.
In song. Well, let me.
How about you ask them if I have their backs, and let's see about that answer.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Patel. Let me ask you this. If an FBI director promoted a song of people who sprayed pepper spray in the face of an FBI agent, would you say they were fit to be director?
Mr. Schiff?
Yes or no? Would they be fit to be director?
I am fit to be the director of the FBI.
If you were the FBI director and you promoted a song with someone who beat an FBI agent with a pole, would you say you were fit to be FBI director?
Mr. Schiff, I am fit to be FBI director based on my 16 years in government service.
And yet you did all these things, Mr. Patel. You can say, oh, I support law enforcement. I decry violence against law enforcement. You could say all that. It's what you did, Mr. Patel, that matters. It's what you did that matters. Well, let me ask you about something else.
Wait a minute. Wasn't he censured by the Senate for something, Leo?
He's a career pathogenic liar. He could be censured every time he opens his mouth, Brannon. This is a man of not only low IQ, but low integrity. Apparently, that is what it takes to become a U.S. senator in modern day America. Low IQ and low integrity.
Yep. I think he was censured. Let's see. We'll have to go back through the list. Can someone else look around for that, see if he was censured? I think he was. Let's see.
I know he spread lies for years about President Trump being a Russian asset and promoting it based on, some 69 or whatever number of current and former intelligence agents, members of the intelligence community who signed a letter saying that they had concerns about President Trump being a Russian asset. It was all proven to be lies, and Adam Schiff was one of the main promoters of that. Yep. So I don't know if that was what he was censured over, Brannon, but I think take your pick. This is a man that every time he opens his mouth, he literally is spewing lies, literally crafting falsehoods out of thin air. And Kash Patel, you could tell, had no time for somebody like him because Kash Patel is a get down to business, no nonsense, let's get the job done, common sense type law enforcement person.
Yep. Good thing I have my own search engine out here because I had to come up with the answer myself, Leo. I'm not getting any help tonight from the control room. They're leaving the old man swinging in the wind by himself. Yeah, they didn't know how to spell censured. Okay, I had to figure it out too myself for a minute, guys. I finally figured out how to spell it correctly, and boom, it popped up. But no, I get that. That's a word you not sure phonetically how it's going to go. But there we go. The House of Representatives, nonetheless, we found it, and we're moving on. The House of Representatives has voted to censure Democratic Representative Adam Schiff for his past actions while chair of the House Intelligence Committee and leading investigations into the then President Donald Trump. The vote was entirely along party lines. Okay, why did they censure him? I think because he was a liar, right? Was that why?
Oh, yeah. He is a serial liar. Every time he speaks, I mean, I don't even know how someone like Schiff can keep up with all the lies he's told, Brannon, because he's completely lost touch with reality.
Okay, false allegations is a nice way of saying lied, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there you go. Trump-Russia collusion. That's what I thought it was about. He was trying to say that President Trump was a Russian asset. Yeah. And so he knew it was false, Brannon, the entire time he was promoting it.
Well, there you go. Let's go to our next clip here. This is, and by the way, the song he was talking about, Leo, I think is a video, audio of the J6ers and the DC Gulag doing the national anthem. I think that's what it was, and that was put out there, and they're trying to say he was somehow profiting from it, and he's like, no, I was not.
Total lie.
Total lie. Let's see here. Let's go to another one. Let's see what this one is.
If you're not ticking off some people, you're not doing your job right.
My colleague and friend Senator Durbin called you a conspiracy theorist. You remember that?
I do, Senator.
You were instrumental in revealing that the Trump-Russia election collusion hoax was a hoax, weren't you?
Yes, sir. I was a lead investigator.
Sounds to me like we need to get some new conspiracy theories because all the old ones turned out to be true.
Facts matter, Senator.
Yeah. I mean, conspiracy theorists are up something like 37-0.
Oh, there you go. Little levity for the evening.
That was a great line. Oh my goodness. Brannon, I love that.
Isn't that a good one? All right. Here's another good one.
37-0 in favor of the conspiracy theorists.
Okay, here's Ted Cruz. Here we go.
What were you doing on that day?
On that day specifically, responding to preparing to mobilize and deploy the National Guard once we got the lawful request from the local governing authority, which was the mayor of D.C. and the Speaker of the House.
Now, how many days in advance were you working to prepare the Department of Defense to help secure the Capitol on January 6th?
Days in advance, Senator. We were in the Oval Office on an unrelated national security matter with the President of the United States, the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and myself. And the President authorized up to 20,000 plus National Guardsmen and women to secure any security measures necessary related to the Capitol. So we were moving to the fullest extent of the law before the requisite request came from a local governing authority days ahead of time.
And while you were Chief of Staff at DOD, how many times did DOD approach Capitol Police and ask if they needed National Guard assistance?
I believe those letters are well documented, numerous instances, and numerous of those instances, those requests were shut down.
Now, am I correct that the Capitol Sergeant at Arms said assistance was unnecessary?
That's correct, Senator.
Who did the Sergeant at Arms report to?
The Speaker of the House.
Boom! That would have been Nancy Pelosi at the time. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
There you go.
And would that also be Chuck Schumer, then the Senate Majority Leader?
Senate Majority Leader.
The Sergeant at Arms, yes, Senator, reports up there.
Did Mayor Bowser, the Democrat elected mayor in D.C., either request or allow National Guard assistance?
She put in writing on the days leading up to January 6th, a declination for National Guard additional support. And that letter is available publicly to the world.
So, and just to speak English for folks at home, a declination meant she said, no, don't send National Guard. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Let me ask you a simple question, because from the questioning from my Democrat colleagues, they might think otherwise. Do you condemn violence against law enforcement?
All of it.
There you go. So we now know who was responsible for January 6th.
As if we didn't already.
Exactly right.
But sadly, that clip will not make it to, NBC News. It will not be played on CNN. It will not be played.
What were you doing?
Sorry about that. Keep going.
But thank you, Brannon, for playing it.
So what you're saying is that the network we're running here is necessary for getting out the truth to the American people.
Yeah, I wish we could clone it, Brannon, and spread it even wider.
There you go. Here's a funny one. A little levity again here. Kash Patel, another mic drop. Here we go.
The rest of the interview. This is why snippets of information are often misleading and detrimental to this committee's advice and consent process.
If you consent, I would love to have 5 hours of questions, and then I could read the whole transcript.
You've got 2 minutes.
Wow.
You've got 2 minutes, baby girl. Yeah, Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota. I like that 5 hours with you. You got 2 minutes, girl.
She is usually a little bit more fair-minded than she's completely off the rails liberal, don't get me wrong. But she's at least tries to be a little more fair-minded than some of these other senators, and would at least, I would hope, allow him to answer her. You know, the pattern I've seen with 90% of these senators is whatever the allotment of time is, Brannon, say they have 3 minutes, they'll take 2.5 minutes to ask the question, and then they'll give the person a few minutes to start answering, and then they'll cut him off and don't even want the answer.
That's what you call filibustering. Filibustering.
Yes. I mean, that is a politically charged tactic that I hope and I actually think most Americans are wise to. They can see through. They can see the fundamental unfairness being applied to these Trump picks on the Senate floor there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see what my U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn has to say about all this.
So will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past and how we are going to.
Oh, so now we know why they don't want Kash Patel.
That's exactly right.
We know why they don't want RFK, and now we know why they don't want Kash Patel. We're figuring this out. It has to do with sex and money. Money with drug dealers, also known as pharmaceutical companies, and sex.
Let me throw another thought.
Let
me throw another thought out there for you, Brannon. You mentioned earlier in our earlier segment that you couldn't figure out or why the medical establishment and the laws that are set forth for the medical establishment would require a hepatitis shot at 3 months of age for the babies.
No,
being
3 hours, like 2 or 3 hours old.
Yeah, okay, 2 or 3 hours old, and it only lasts 7 years.
Yep.
Well, if you were in the sex trade business and you're having sex with children.
Oh, wow.
Maybe we should look into that.
Wow. Members of Congress want to protect the pharmaceutical industry and giving hepatitis B because they like to have sex with children, or at least maybe they work with people or get funded by people involved in sex trafficking, or maybe they're funding NGOs involved in sex trafficking, or maybe the HHS government itself is involved in sex trafficking, according to whistleblowers. Boom.
Bingo.
Let that one sink in.
That's the evil that we're dealing with.
What else we got? This is, all right. He won't say Joe Biden won 2020. Well, I don't either. I don't say that either. But look, Kash stands his ground today.
Can you say the words, Joe Biden won the 2020 election?
Joe Biden was the president of the United States.
Yeah, I'm going to stay on this. There's a difference. I can say the words, Donald Trump won. I don't like to say it, but I must say it.
Wow. See, Kash Patel knows there was a lot of funny business going on in 2020, but they want him to say it. Can you say it? I mean, are these people so condescending or what?
Oh, yeah, several times. Adam Schiff, to me, when he told Kash Patel to turn around and face the Capitol Police officers, that sounded like a school teacher lecturing a school child, didn't it?
It did.
Lecturing one of his students. That didn't sound like a senator questioning or even, asking tough questions of a presidential nominee. That's not the type of tone that one would expect from a U.S. senator. It sounded more like a teacher or principal lecturing a school child.
Well,
Go ahead, Brandon.
Here's another one. Well, here's another clip. That same thing's going on.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Patel, do you believe that background checks for firearm purchases are constitutional?
I don't know the in-depths of it, but I think that's what the Supreme Court has said, Senator.
So the word would be yes. Yes. Can you say yes? Are background checks constitutional?
The Supreme Court has said, Senator.
So the word would be yes. Yes. The word would be yes. Yes. The word would be yes. Yes. Can you say yes? Are background checks constitutional?
I can say whatever the Constitution and the Supreme Court ruled is the rule of the land.
Can you believe these people, Leo? I mean,
Could they get more condescending? I don't think it would be possible to be more condescending than what we saw right there.
No. And I think these are the people running the country. All right, one last clip, I think. At least a little lightheartedness in the hearings today. This was funny. I saw this live.
Mr. Chairman.
Before we go to leave.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, what do you want?
I love this guy. Mr. Chairman, I'm unlike Senator Tillis. I mean, if we're going to start this, I want an extra 3 minutes.
Well,
now, my friend Senator Klobuchar went 3 minutes over.
So, here what you're saying is the chairman wasn't a very good chairman by not shutting her up. But I've gone through this before, and I think I know how to handle it. And
I think you're a star-spangled awesome chairman. I just want to say that for the record. But if you're going to let somebody over there go 3 minutes over, I want my extra 3 minutes.
Well, let's see if it's abused by anybody else before we make that decision.
I'm just telling you, I'm going to abuse it.
Well, I'm not going to let you abuse it.
Mr. Chairman.
And these two guys are friends, by the way. That was the funniest part of the whole hearing, by the way.
I think anytime Kennedy's involved, it is entertaining, if nothing else.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Oh, wow. All right, do you think he's going to get confirmed?
I think it's going to be, if he does, Brandon, it might involve J.D. Vance casting a tiebreaker vote again.
Yeah, it might. It might. Do you think he's going to get anything done as FBI director, or will he be gobbled up by the swamp?
Oh, I thought you were talking about RFK.
No. I'm talking about Kash right now.
Yeah, I think Kash will definitely get approved.
Okay.
Yes.
Do you think he'll be swallowed by the swamp, or do you think he'll get something done?
Maybe it's hard to get much done in the face of the swamp every day, day in and day out. But if anyone can do it, I think Kash Patel is up to the job.
You think we'll see some people go to jail, get prosecuted, investigated?
High-level people, no. I think some people will, yes. Will the absolute highest decision makers who triggered the entire illegal activity? No.
LeoHoman.com, LeoHoman.com, and LeoHoman.substack.com. It is Delta approved. No, Dolly. Sorry, sweetheart. Dolly. Delta was my last dog. I know. She's always like, who is this Delta person he talks about? That was your half-sister who you never got to know. Anyway, LeoHoman.com, LeoHoman.substack.com. It is Dolly approved as well. Okay? You met Dolly when you were here, didn't you?
I did.
She's sweet.
Yes.
Aren't you? You're a sweet girl. All right. Leo, you're a champion. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Brandon.
LeoHoman.com and LeoHoman.substack.com. Take a look at the screen here. WorldviewTalk.com. WorldviewTalk.com. Make sure you check it out, folks. Get your free satellite phone if there's a disaster of any kind, or you just go into areas where there's bad cell coverage. This last summer, I went into an area, and the whole weekend I had virtually no cell phone coverage. I had to pull out my cell phone to make important business calls to keep the network going. Without the satellite phone, I would have been in trouble. Did I say I pulled out my cell phone call? I pulled out my cell phone and it wasn't working the whole weekend. It was barely working the whole weekend. Sometimes it wasn't working. Bad cell area. But I was able to keep the network going, get work done because I pulled out my sat phone. You get a free sat phone when you sign up for one of their very reasonable plans at worldviewtalk.com. You can also get one of their bivvies. That's the little device on the bottom there. In fact, I'll show you here. As you guys know, I talk about it all the time. It's one of their best-selling products, by the way. Sync it to your cell phone, text through your cell phone to the bivvy, and then the bivvy takes it to a satellite down to your family member that has the bivvy. So you're just using your cell phone to compose the text. It actually doesn't go through the cell towers at all. It goes from the bivvy, from your phone to the bivvy to a satellite down to your family member that has a bivvy. Buy 2 and save, buy 3 and save. You can also get solar generators. I think tomorrow night we're going to have a special guest on because they are doing a discount on these, but these are very important. I have one of these, a backup to my backup, worldviewtalk.com, worldviewtalk.com. Be sure to go over here, folks, to Melissa Howse, GPA. Let's see, GPA. MelissaHowseGPA.com, MelissaHowseGPA.com. This is Gatatana. I take it 1 scoop every day and a glass of water. I give half a scoop a day on Dolly's food. See, I got your name right, Dolly. And she just turned and looked at me. You just said my name. I put half a scoop on Dolly's food because it's good for her, loaded with antioxidants and a lot of trace minerals that are great for our pets. And as you know, here's the kitty cat, Binks, I think his name is, that had a tumor in the eye, got on Gatatana, tumor gone. Now, if this is what it'll do for the cats and the dogs, what do you think it'll do for us? I'm not making claims, I'm asking questions. So I take a scoop in water every day, and then I put a half a scoop on her food. Now, you can get the pet product if you want, or just do what I do. I just get the regular Gatatana, and I just give half a scoop a day to her. So I just share my Gatatana with Dolly. MelissaHowseGPA.com, MelissaHowseGPA.com. All right?